Tim Hanlon will lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Councilman Hanlon.
Here.
Councilman Lewandowski.
Here.
Councilman Niles.
Here.
Supervisor Merlino.
Here. All right, on the agenda that you might be reading, the first one was supposed to be Tracy Clothier to close out on our plan.
Nope. We have to open bids.
You can open the bids first. Sorry about that. Open the bids.
Okay, this is from Auto Saver. And it is sealed.
You have your.
Okay, so there's a bid 1 and a bid 2 from Auto Saver. Truck 2022 F550 extended cab 4x4 cab chassis exceeds specs, it says. Truck is immediately available. 11-foot enclosed high top utility box. A total price, truck and equipment, $101,269 delivered.
No.
2022.
Leftover.
It's certainly more used, right? Bids, the request for bids at new or used. Right?
Bid 2, 2022 F450 regular cab, 4x2 cab chassis in stock, 11-foot enclosed high top utility body. Total delivered 93,629.
And I did on the state website, I did a mini bid. And we had only one come back, and that was DePaula Chevrolet for 22 Chevy 3500, and that was just a regular utility box. These two had the high body where we wanted to get inside and do our work and have more storage.
Is the Chevy 4-wheel drive?
Excuse me?
Is the Chevy 4-wheel drive?
Which one? This?
Yeah,
Yes.
one of those is not.
One of those is not, and one is a extended cab. So if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. You might as well get the extended cab 4x4. That way I can have the guys get in and we can have less vehicles on the job site. That's one good thing about that.
Take a break.
It's gotta be a clown, don't you?
But you gotta have the 4-wheel drive. I mean, you gotta have that.
Yes and no.
I will
I
say,
think they probably should have it.
our vehicle now is not a 4-wheel drive.
Okay,
I'm okay with either way you guys go.
so you're okay with it not 4-wheel drive, so you're not either or, you're good with.
I would strongly go for the extended cab just because I fit more guys in there, less vehicles we have to run down. So that's less gas that we're wasting.
Which one was the extended cab?
The one for 100.
101 or 103?
That's the 4-wheel drive.
Yes. And speaking with Gene, we were going to split this. We talked about. between the water department and my fund balance. So I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Well, the first thing we gotta do is look over the total specs and make sure they jive with what. you
They
know.
do, they match of what we put out.
You don't plan on plowing with this?
I'm sorry.
No.
No, you're not plowing at all. with
No.
this? No.
And you'll
And,
probably,
and 99% of the time. The backhoe, the excavator, that is on the site before that water truck
Yeah.
is there, so they are able to clean the roads. The majority of the
The
time.
majority does.
you'll probably be carrying around a ton or more all the time too, right?
Yeah, with all
The
the,
heavy chassis might be a good idea.
Ron, you want the larger one?
I'm sorry.
We want the larger one. That's your preference.
My preference is the extended
Four-wheel
cab.
drive.
All right, I'll make that motion as long as all the specs match what we had out in the newspaper.
I'll second it.
It does match. You looked at it, right? It does match. So I'll make that motion.
And we're good at
Yep.
splitting it, Gene. I
Yep.
think that's a win-win for both of us.
Let's take the half of it out of his surplus and half out of the water department budget.
We have just a little more discussion.
Sure.
What model is it?
Does it say on it? I think it might be the 6.
Is that apples to apples?
Well, the other one's only a 3,500.
Yeah.
It's gotta have a small notice.
The one he's looking at is a,
The Chevy's,
550.
Chevy's a 1 ton. The smaller Ford.
It's a 6.7
Gas.
diesel.
Okay. Okay. I don't need to talk anymore about it.
All right, any other questions?
No,
All
no.
right, we got a motion. I need a second.
Yes, I already got the second.
Who's the second?
Tim,
Tim.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, provided it's matches what we.
the attorney said that it matches everything else.
Now that makes our resolutions off by one number.
All right, you ready? Okay. All right, we're moving on. Now we'll get to the speaker. Tracy canceled earlier today. She was afraid of the weather. We're gonna reschedule it for another time. The next one I have Ed Larkin from TV8 and Jesse Jackson, the owner of TV8 here. They're gonna give a presentation on a new project that the county has approved resolution wise, money wise, on a program to enhance the advertising of the county to tourists, to the business people. And I think it's a great idea. So they're here, they're going around all the towns. It's going to be about a 10-minute presentation, and then we'll move on. All right, go ahead.
I'm not the only one that's old enough now to hear $100,000 for a pickup and think yourself. The world has changed. It's really changed.
You're not.
You should know what I.
It's $100,000. It's $100,000 to pave a mile of road now, maybe more.
Times change. Let me just tell everybody why we're here. Some of you might know me.
Excuse me, Ed, can you use that microphone? I
Yeah.
know it's not convenient, but that way the folks up in the Zoom mic can hear it.
There you go.
Yep.
You with that?
Yeah, just trying to keep a. 2 or 3 feet
Whatever.
away from it. I know that'll be difficult.
Some of you might know me from Look TV. What TV8 is what it used to be, now it's Look TV. That's a separate business from what we're doing here. Just very, very quickly, it's gonna be hard to try to keep everybody in the loop here. It was a couple of years ago, and I've been in the television business my whole life before I moved up here to do TV8, Look TV. I've been in the television business in New York for like 20 years prior to that. So I know that one wheelhouse, I know that lane and pickup trucks. But it it occurred to me that, you know, the days of traditional television, except for local TV, which always seems to have a nice name because it's our neighbors and it's our community, and that's what I do with local TV. I concentrate solely on the local communities. But it was pretty apparent to me that this television world that we're in was moving far away from traditional television, that things like Netflix were becoming very, very popular. They're called streaming services. And as such, I contacted some friends in New York and said, I got this idea. You know, you go to Netflix and they know who you are and they welcome you back again. And then you get into the categories. They might feature a couple of videos that they think you might be interested in. But then you go down in the categories, right? Documentaries, comedies, features, whatever it is. So the idea was that one person could take that and just build that back architecture so that instead of movies, it was the attractions in Warren County. A pretty interesting idea, kind of breakthrough. So instead of dramas and comedies and whatever, why couldn't it be hiking, hotels, lakes, skiing, and the kinds of things? Now, we all live in a video-centric universe. Some of us are going kicking and screaming, but that's the universe we live in now. I think I might be one of the few people that actually reads the newspaper on Sunday. But we get all our information and all our entertainment from video pretty much these days. I don't care what age you are. So lo and behold, fast forward, that was 2 years. It took about a year and pretty heavy investment to be able to talk to the people that created Netflix and get them to build a model to see if we could actually do that. And after a lot of trials, we actually got the model to work. And when we got the model to work, we knew that we were really onto something because people want to come visit us. One of the big hooks in it was that all of these things that we're talking about, all these Netflix of the world, you have to pay for those subscriptions. Well, that became an issue because you don't want somebody who might be considering visiting us. I don't care if they're in Albany or Saratoga or Connecticut or Indiana. I don't care where they are. You don't want to say to that person, hey, you got to pay for the privilege of finding out whether or not you want to visit us. So we had to make it free. That was quite a challenge. I don't know what it sounds like when I just talk about it, but it was really quite a challenge to be able to try to build that model so it was free. And then the one last hurdle, and this has a lot to do with the guy that's sitting right there and the other supervisors, is I went to the Warren County Board of Supervisors and said, look, we're building this so that it's free for consumers. How about this idea? I know Fort William Henry's not going to have a problem sending us a video, but what about that mom and pop? What about that bar down there? You know, what about that restaurant? What about the Adirondack Folk School? You know, what can we get from them? So we wanted a level playing field, if that makes sense to you. I wanted everybody to have an equal opportunity to participate in the platform. And the reason for that is twofold. One is that it makes everybody on the same level, which I think is only fair, considering the blood, sweat, tears that everybody puts into the business, their own businesses. And then the other piece of that puzzle was that, well, if we're able to offer that for free for the county, we're going to get the content that we need. Because collectively on this platform, you're not selling to people. When you go to Netflix, they don't sell you. The collection of all of those movies and all that stuff is the personality of Netflix, if that makes sense to you. So if all these videos that we get from the businesses in Warren County, collectively, their stories are the personality of Warren County. Give you a perfect example, you know, Fort William Henry, I'll use that as an example. We get the drone shot, we're gonna get all the fancy stuff. We ran into somebody who had the diner. They said, what could I do? And I said, I think you make the best grilled cheese sandwich in Warren County. Make the grilled cheese sandwich and do a video on that. And trust me, it's a better video. Don't tell what we're doing. But that's the idea, is that everybody's got something to contribute because that's what gets us up in the morning to go to work. The things that we like to do in our community. So the Warren County Board of Supervisors made a lot of presentations, right, Jane? We went through a lot, almost a year's worth of back and forth trying to figure it out. And then the Warren County Board of Supervisors from the Ox Tax funds said, we'll fund this. So that's making it free for all businesses in Warren County. So that's, you want to know how you government money could work to really help the community. Again, this is a good example of it. Right back into the community so that we can offer this platform free to all consumers, regardless of where they live in the United States and beyond, and also to every single business in Warren County that's visitor related. And the reason I say visitor related is that we wanted to be able to use this as a marketing tool. It's the most powerful thing out there right now. Streaming TV services by far is the most, it's the largest way to reach people and engage them. In my business, the word engagement is used an awful lot. It's one thing to sit there, showing my age here, you sat there with a remote, you had nothing to do, but you kept going around. Couch potatoes, right? Well, those days are gone too. Everybody wants to interact. And by interacting, by the way, we get to know who they are. We get to know what they're interested in. And those businesses can then benefit from that because then they can remarket to them and go back to them again. So that's the 2-minute version that turned into 4 minutes. But Ed, here's my partner, Ed Larkin. I kind of handle the creative side, the strategy side, and those things. And thank God Ed's here because he understands exactly how it works. So with that, we're going to take you through just a very, very brief thing because I know you people have other things that you want to talk to them about. But when you go, I'll just set it up for Ed. When you go to, this happens to be the internet version of it, but there are mobile versions of this. They're called apps. So just the same way that you see Google Apps and all these other apps, you can get this on your phone. You can get this on any smart TV. If you're ever thinking about, well, what is this? Just think Netflix. Every place you can go to get Netflix, you can go to get this. And it's really quite something to look on your screen. We have it up and running now, and we're trying to break it to see where there might be any issues with it. But it is really something when you go to Roku and you go to the home screen and you see Netflix and Disney and everything else, and then it's LakeGeorge.tv. And you punch that and boom, you're right into this environment. This was a line that really comes out of here for the last 20 years. My wife and I, when we moved up here after living in New York City and LA for God knows how many years, you can spend a lifetime discovering things here. Ed and I had some time to kill just now. We went and I said, hey, have you ever seen that waterfall that rages over here? He hadn't seen it. You can discover something in Warren County for the rest of your freaking life. So I thought to myself, this is what we're going to do. We're going to say to people, there are places you visit, and then there's places we discover. What will you discover when you come here? Now that's also pretty smart in terms of marketing. You pose a question to somebody out there, you get the curiosity, you bait them. And now what you got to be careful of is that if you say, what will you discover? You better make certain that when they come here, they discover something. That's a no-brainer. You can discover stuff here for your life, the lake, the mountains, the hiking, the canoeing, anything you need. So at any rate, that's how it's set up, and then I'll turn it over to you, Ed.
Right. So as Jesse said, this is available on any smart device. We're seeing it on a laptop. It would look fairly similar if it was on a smart TV. It looks different when it's on a phone or a tablet or a Roku device, etc. But this will give you a pretty good idea. The first thing the consumer sees if they don't have an account already is they're going to see the splash page here. And then they can go down and they can see all the categories. These are the categories of things that there are to see and do in Warren County. And they can click on any category and they'll see what are all the places that fit into the hotels, motels, resorts, bed and breakfast. That they can places that they can check. Here you click either explore or catalog. The catalog is really where all the videos live. If you think, like Jesse said, if you think about Netflix, you get the welcome splash page and then it immediately takes you into all the things that you can see on Netflix. So that's where our catalog is essentially. And the first thing that the consumer would see is these featured videos. The featured videos are what's new, what's hot, what's happening right now. It's winter time. Gore Mountain sent me a video. I just had a meeting earlier today. The person who runs the Adirondack Balloon Festival, they know that's coming up. They want to get us a video. So these will change according to seasons and according to what events or attractions are happening. It's in like a carousel kind of thing. So if you click over, you can see there's 2 dots. There's 2 videos up there right now. If there was 5 videos, there'd be $5, et cetera. So these are the sort of featured things. And then going down, the first thing that they see are the locations. And this is all the towns, hamlets, and cities of Warren County. So it runs from Adirondack to Weavertown. And each one is its own kind of collection, if you will. So instead of comedies, there's the Lake Luzerne collection. There's the Glens Falls collection. There's the Polo Painting collection. And then scrolling down are all of those categories that you saw in that original splash page. There's about 19 of them. And they can go in and they can see all of the things that there are there. Scrolling down, Jesse had mentioned that there are on the App Store, the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. That's where you can download the app to a particular device if you want. There's also a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram account. Those are really social accounts that are just to drive traffic back to the platform because that's really where all the action happens. Those don't really store videos. But going back up here, if I want to jump into a collection, so I'm going to jump into the Lake Luzerne collection. And right now I've got about 17 placeholder videos in here, but I grabbed this off the town's website. This would be like the featured video for the town of Lake Luzerne. And if I were to play this, what will pop up is a QR code and a URL that will direct that sort of destination URL that will take them to the town homepage. Every video will have a QR code and a URL that takes the user to the destination URL for that business or for that entity, so that they can find out more information, or they can book a room, or they can make a reservation, or they can do whatever they want to do at that business. We're tracking all of that information on back end. So we know who's coming in, we know where they're coming from, we know their demographics, we know their interests, we know all that kind of information. We use that to optimize the platform and basically drive traffic. Once I go into a collection, then, so this is the Lake Luzerne collection, then going down here, I'm going to see some of the categories. So under hotels, motels, resorts, I have the Lamplight Inn. Under arts and culture, I have Luzerne Music Center. So some of these are the videos that I've actually received from some of these entities. South Warren Snowmobile Club, et cetera. So all the things that there are to see and do within Lake Luzerne itself, because that's the collection that I'm currently in. If I'm in the catalog in general, I can, as a consumer, I can go here and I can search for things. So if I want to find, because I was in Glens Falls earlier, I'm going to use Bell, because I heard that there's a place that has a bell house, it has a tower, it looks like a bell. So these are keywords that are associated with the videos. So if I want to look up somewhere that has a delicious breakfast, I think that's going to take me to the Lamplight. I heard that Gene makes a pretty good breakfast, so.
Nah, I've eaten her.
So there's keywords that are associated with all of those. That's one way that they can search. Another way is through filters. They have categories. So here's all the categories that I mentioned before. There's locations. There's also season. Well, if I want to see that in the wintertime, then I can sort by whatever particular season I want to look at. These also operate in what's called a Boolean fashion. So if I do outdoor activities and I do a location like North Creek and I do winter, it's going to give me outdoor activities in North Creek in the winter. Those are and statements that get built essentially. Another couple things quickly, to create an account, the consumer just goes here. We ask a few basic questions, their email address, their name, their zip code, so that we can find out where they're coming from. What locations most interest them, what categories most interest them. And once they've created an account, they'll get a confirmation page that says, hey, there's no cost for this is free, it's on us, etc. And then as soon as they hit yes, create my free account, they get a confirming email along with the URL that will drive them back to the platform itself. So if we can see that somebody is watching a particular set of videos, let's say, then we can also send them a remarketing email that says, hey, you've been watching this upcoming event. By the way, it's next weekend, and here's a 10% coupon to come and stay at such and such a place. So there's remarketing opportunities that are built into this as well. How do you get videos to us? So as Jesse said, this is free to all businesses. And entity, when I say businesses, it's entities, including municipal assets, so things like, I happen to live over Queensbury, I live on the Warren County Bikeway. I want to get a bit of the Warren County Bikeway. So it would include those kind of assets too, municipal assets. We built this, you've been seeing the consumer platform. This is the business platform. So this is where businesses and other entities send us videos. There's a little explanation. We kind of explain about 3 or 4 different ways that yes, this is free, because that's a big question I get a lot. Is where's the hook? There isn't one. It's already just been funded by the counties, is what the deal is. And if you go here to this upload a video page, there is some basic guidelines. We don't want to tell you what to do because it should reflect the character of your business. Like Jesse said, the question I ask people is, what gets you up in the morning? Why did you start this business? What gets you up in the morning to come and open the doors? Film that. That's the genuine story that people want to hear about your business. They don't want the Hollywood kind of flashy, commercial or infomercial. They want to know that. So there's some basic tips here. And then there's a video upload form where you give us your contact info so we know who the video belongs to. You can give us the URL. If it's a seasonal video, you can tell us what the start and end date of that video should be. And then down here, you can directly upload the video here. If your video happens to be particularly large and it is over 200 megabytes, there's plenty of, you can just send an email to me and say, hey, I need a different way to send it to you. And I have different ways, so you can send me videos that are bigger than that. And then down here, this is just some legalese that basically says you're granting us permission to use your video, you own the video. But, we'll take it down if you want us to or anything like that. But it's your video, you own it, but you're granting us permission to use it for this purpose. And then you can submit the video. And the last thing is just to show you a little bit of how it looks. If anybody has a mobile phone and you went on LakeGeorge.tv currently, you will see what I put in here. This is the left page on my phone. This is, if you scroll down, you'll see the attractions, you'll see the locations and all that kind of stuff. If you click on the 3 buttons here, you'll go to here where you can go to the catalog. When you go into the catalog, then you'll see those featured videos, you'll see the locations, the attractions, all of that kind of stuff. So you can see it looks a little different on a phone because it's optimized for that device. You can't just have one format with all these devices. You have to have slightly different formats for all the devices. Then it works for the consumer.
That's an understatement, by the way.
Yeah. This is Jesse mentioned this. This is how it looks. This is off of Jesse's TV. We have the Roku app that we're testing right now. So you've got Disney Plus and Paramount Plus, and then LakeGeorge.tv. And when you get in there, this is again how it kind of looks. This is, I think, my TV. So this is how the splash page looks. And then here I was going in the Bolton Andy collection. I think was kind of playing around in there. So that's what it's all about. We've built it. We've tested it. We've got the mobile apps. We have not broken it lately. We have it all ironed out. And what we need is for all of the qualified entities, anybody who's visitor or tourism related, send us a video. We're building placeholders for you, we're ready to go, and we want to open this up to the public within the next couple of weeks. So we want to have as much content on there as possible, and it's basically free advertising, for you. So,
Are you gonna market Saratoga County also?
no, this is strictly
Just Warren County.
Just strictly one?
Yeah,
Correct.
And we have a young lady right here that put on a hell of a car show,
yeah.
but that's Saratoga County.
Right.
Pardon?
You're spoiling my career.
Yeah. So you're not gonna market Saratoga racetrack or nothing like that?
No.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
No, we don't want to do that.
This has been paid for by
by Warren County.
And so this is strictly Warren County. And that you actually raise an interesting point, because one of the things that we had looked at early on, I said to Jesse, long before he sucked me into this thing, early on, I was skeptical and I said, well, what makes this better than just a YouTube channel? And he said, what happens if you look up a place in Warren County and watch a video on YouTube? And so I went on my laptop and what happened right away? They wanted to show me the video about Cape Cod. they wanted to send me somewhere else. This is Warren County. No entity outside of Warren County is permitted on this platform. This is strictly Warren County.
And we control 100%, they own the environment, we control 100% of the environment, so none of that happens. No pop-up ads, none of that kind of stuff, that's a distraction, it's solely to promote what you will discover when you come to Warren County. Just in closing quickly, thank you, I'm sure when you come to the meeting tonight, you didn't think you were gonna get this. But at any rate, but especially want the board to know, because we're lucky, we're over 200 videos, Gene, and I think you should know that. And there is varied as every single one of us in this room. They're all very different. They're all really interesting. The most important thing is to get those videos. If you own a visitor tourist related business, go to the website. It's a B2B website. There's no consumers there. There's nothing there. Your friends, your family own businesses, get the videos to us. A couple of things happen that's very important. The second we get the video, you've locked in your place on the platform. Locking in your place on the platform means you're in the right categories, and some of the categories cross over. Some businesses do craft beer, but they also serve food. So they'll be in a couple of different categories. Your category is locked down, but then also the search terms are locked in to make certain that when people are searching and looking for you, they're there. We have to do that. We have to create the QR code for that business, so somebody can just hold their phone up to the screen and immediately be connected to that business's website. So get the video content to us. We're hoping to launch mid-April now, and we got a lot of videos. It's great, Gene. I'm telling you, he knows the work that went into getting this.
We listened to him for about a year, how excited he is every time he talks.
Yeah.
How to vote for him.
But please, I've been in this community now for 20 years. I'm more excited to do this kind of presentation than you can imagine. So, just get us the videos, okay? Go to the website, find out what it is. If you have any questions, email us. We'd like to help you out, okay? Thank you very much.
Jesse, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with our regular group. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right, we're gonna move on with the meeting. The next part is to open the floor to the public.
Yes, Sue.
No, you got
What's-
Sue.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this moving along. We have Sue Weiler for the summer plan. Sorry, Sue. Bye.
I know, Fred jumps in and spoils my commercial. Now you forget who I am. I don't know. I'm Sue Wilder and I've been your ambassador coordinator. Do I sit down again?
You
here?
can.
Yes, you can.
Move the mic.
Down.
I'm Sue Wilder and I've been your ambassador coordinator for several years now. Finding and training folks to meet and greet visitors in a friendly way at Lake Luzerne's downtown historic sites has been my pleasure. It's been a fun ride. Each year we see the visitor tally increase to a number of over 1,000 visitors to our historic sites. Yet to increase visitors to the historic sites more than once, there needs to be a regular update of connected activities. And what I'm saying is the one room schoolhouse is just that. It is one room. And once you've come and seen it once, you say, well, I saw that last year and they haven't done it different. I'm not coming back. So we're trying to think of ways to bring people back to the same sites to learn something new that's historic in our area. And I'm here tonight to ask that you extend the Lake Luzerne Heritage District Ambassador Program to include some programs and activities which will increase the time visitors spend in Lake Luzerne. Now, a couple of weeks ago, several ambassadors met at my house a few times to brainstorm about what we could do. And I asked them what we could do that is a low budget and yet enhance our history story. And we came up with these ideas. We came up with a National Day of the Cowboy, which is in July, that we might incorporate that at our historic sites. Were the cowboys here when we had the pulp mill? Were the cowboys here when the schoolhouse was here? Those kind of questions. Then coordinate with our town historian with the Lake Luzerne History Day. Do something in August, which is a National Music on the Porch Day in August. All right, who plays a ukulele? Get out there on your porch and just strum along. Get your drums out, your bongos, whatever your thing was, and make some history happen in your town. We have the beautiful banks along the Hudson River. And we thought that perhaps at the Rockwell Harmon House, what we could do is have checkerboards and chalkboards or chessboards set up. So on Sunday afternoon, you can just spend a lazy afternoon at the Rockwell Harmon playing chess with your friends. Or every other Friday, we could practice their croquet and get ready for the croquet tournament that will happen at the end of August. So we'd set it up in the backyard of the Harmon Rockwell, and sure enough, we would get people here. Now, of course, you have to, if you're going to compete in the competition for the croquet tournament, you have to dress in period costume. That's a must. And also you do have to hit the little ball. Yes. Perhaps other things would be to bring to the area plein air artists. We have such a beautiful area, and to see our area salt and peppered with artists set up with it behind their easel, either drawing a picture of the Ivy Island or the waterfalls or some other part that we have here that is so beautiful, then we would auction off their artwork, and the artists would go home with some jingle money in their pocket. At the Gailey Hill one-room schoolhouse, we said we would designate a special day that there are no electronic devices. Charlie, sorry, there can't be any of those. Lake George, New York. So, and instead we would offer to them an opportunity to take out their chalk and draw on the sidewalk, or we would give them chalk slates and they would draw a picture on their chalk slate, and then we would copy it or cover it, snap the picture, whatever you want to call it, and put it onto Facebook for Lake Luzerne. So somebody sees it and says, hey, my grandchild did this or whatever. It would be a way to bring people back to our little community. Other things that we would incorporate on the no electronics day would be old-fashioned games, hopscotch, jump rope. You probably remember some of your favorite games. It would be a little difficult to play stickball or baseball there on the corner at the one-room schoolhouse, but there are other things that we could do that would keep people coming back. We find that we are in an area where Grandpa and Grandma have camps. Mom and Dad are still working, and so they bring the grandchildren to Grandpa and Grandma's here at the lake. And so what do? By Thursday, Grandpa and Grandma are tired of going to the beach, and they need something else that's free for the kids to do. So they bring them to our historic sites. And so what a better time for the kids to come to the one-room schoolhouse, go to the pulp mill, go to the Rockwell Harmon, maybe learn croquet. So those are some of the things. But in order to increase the activity at these historic sites, I'm asking that you increase the funding for the ambassador program by $1,000 to help us meet the expenses of the slate boards, of chalk. It's not really a lot of money, but it would be beneficial, I think, in the long run, because again, these are activities that could be very successful at a minimal amount of money. Now, I had given you before the application, and then I'm going to give it to you again in case you have put it someplace that you can't find it, and you will be refreshed that these are good things to do. So.
Thank you, Sue. Thanks, Sue.
I do thank you again. We are now entering our 8th year of offering to our visitors a new window into Lake Luzerne. It's not something that is like the Great Escape or a big fun thing, but it's creating a memory. It creates them a sense of location that I have been here. I know a little bit about this area, and they call it home because we make them feel like it's home when they come to see us. If there's any questions, I definitely would welcome. I could hopefully answer those for you. If not, let me just interject a little commercial if I can. As you know, it's time for the Maple in April Festival. And we want you to put it on your calendars the last Saturday of April. And it's a great family oriented activity, something you can be proud to bring your kids to. And we hope that you will come. Thank you very much again for allowing me to be your ambassador coordinator. I really enjoy doing this, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Sue.
Any
Thanks,
questions?
Sue.
Any questions for Sue? Even in the audience, does it allow you to speak real quick? No? Okay.
She does.
Thank
Really?
you. Thank you.
Thanks, Sue.
Well,
Thank
don't
you,
push
Sue.
it that much.
Don't say it. I want to raise.
Let's get the early shit. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, now I can get back to the agenda. Thank you. Very good. Sue and the other gentleman that were here, Jesse, they worked hard on that program. It's it can be a great success for our county. All right, now we open the floor to any questions about our resolutions coming up. That's the only thing we'll take right now until the end of the meeting. So if anybody have any questions on the resolutions, just raise your hand. Seeing none, I will move on to the resolutions. Cindy will read them all off and we'll vote on them.
Okay. Okay, so now they're going to be renumbered because you made a resolution on the bid. So resolution 39. To pay the bills of the third abstract as presented in vouchers numbered and totaled as follows. General Fund 1391 to 1444 in the amount of $45,214.16. Highway Fund 1445 to 1465, $108,340.91. Lake Luzerne Water 1466 to 1469, $2,447.23. Hudson Grove Water 1470 is $13,274.95. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 40. To accept the minutes of the meeting of February 13th.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 41 to reappoint Annie McMahon to the Board of Assessment Review.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 42 to authorize agreements between the town of Lake Luzerne and Warren County, acting on behalf of Warren Hamilton County's Office for the Aging to provide needed services for adults 60 years of age and older. This agreement is of no cost to the town.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 43 to adopt the revised Town of Lake Luzerne procurement policy, which will replace all prior procurement policies, including the procurement policy amended on February 8th of 2021. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 44. To authorize the use of the Colonel Butler Pavilion Park and Bathroom for the Lake Luzerne History Day to take place Saturday, July 22nd from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Make a motion.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 45, to authorize the use of the Colonel Butler Pavilion Park and Bathroom for the 24th Annual Halloween Pug and Pumpkin Party to take place Sunday, September 24th from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. with setup for the event to be Friday, September 22nd, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Saturday, September 23rd from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Can we have just a bit of discussion? This is the kind of stuff we ought to try to get videos.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that before you did. Yeah, we're gonna try to get a video out, and that's the way it's gonna be advertised to people that are looking to come here that particular time.
I'm done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 46.
I think we can skip that one
Okay.
because we found the old resolution from last year.
Okay.
Right.
Resolution 47. To adjust SW1 account 4270 on a one-time basis to 279.92, which is an average of the previous 5 years billing plus interest. The bill was extraordinarily high, was reportedly not received in the mail by the landlord, and a recent reading of the water meter shows that the issue is corrected to a normal use.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
Abstained.
Carried. Resolution 48. Whereas the milestone anniversaries of significant national and world events can provide citizens with opportunities to reflect on our heritage and the people and events that have influenced the shaping of our nation. And whereas the American Revolution played a significant role in events, battles, raids, and supply and transportation routes throughout the upstate New York area from Plattsburgh to Fort Ticonderoga to Fort William Henry and Lake George to Saratoga, beyond. And whereas the 250th anniversary of the American Revolutionary War will be observed from 2025 to 2033, and the town of Queensbury established a 250th American Revolution Committee and is supported in resolution by the Warren County Board of Supervisors. And whereas it is appropriate that the sister towns coordinate with Queensbury in planning events and activities that will engage the citizens and provide opportunities to learn more about our common heritage, pride of place, and shared history. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Lake Luzerne hereby endorses the establishment of a 250th American Revolution Committee to be a collaboration of members of Warren and Washington counties to plan area events, ceremonies, activities, and celebrations, and appoints the Lake Luzerne Town Historian to be the liaison with the committee and other towns, counties, and state historians. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of Lake Luzerne authorizes and directs the certified copies of this resolution be sent to Warren County, Town of Queensbury, and the Town of Lake Luzerne historians for their records, and so that they may take other necessary actions to effectuate this resolution. Duly adopted this 13th day of March 2023 by the following vote. Roll call: Supervisor Eugene Merlino,
Aye.
Councilman James Niles,
aye.
Councilman Paul Lewandowski,
Aye.
Councilman Tim Hanlon,
Aye.
and I will certify this resolution to Pam Moran and these various locations. So that is carried. So And the title of that is Resolution in Support of the Establishment of the 250th American Revolutionary War Anniversary Committee and Town Historian as Liaison, year 2023. Next, Resolution 49. To authorize request for funding from occupancy tax as follows. Adirondack Folk School, $6,000. Hadley Luzerne Historical Society, $3,500. Lake Luzerne Senior Center, $1,850. Pam Moran for the Pug Party, $1,500. Pam Moran Local History Day, $1,000. Lake Luzerne Chamber of Commerce Food Trucks and Concerts. I think we already did that one, but it's on there. Is there a motion?
I'd like to see, and I would imagine this comes underneath there, the increase that Sue Weiler was requesting. An additional.
You want to add that to this resolution?
Yep, $1,000
Good.
for the ambassador program.
Yes,
Okay, is there a motion?
Can I make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 50. To acknowledge and accept the January 19th, 2023 annual review of record keeping by the Chief Fiscal Officer, the Town Clerk, Judge Hayes and Judge Gillis, and to forward this resolution to the Acting Chief Administrative Judge of the State of New York Unified Court System as required.
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 51. To authorize the town supervisor to sign the service order and service agreement from Spectrum Enterprises in the amount of $3,432.53 to install internet at the town well house.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Carried. Resolution 52. To authorize the town supervisor to sign the intermunicipal agreement between Warren County and the town of Lake Luzerne for combating aquatic invasive species. Pursuant to such agreement, the county will pay the town $41,666.66 to be used solely to combat aquatic invasive species. The term of this agreement is January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2023.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Resolution 53. To authorize the town supervisor to sign the intermunicipal agreement between Warren County and the town of Lake Luzerne related to solid waste and recycling, disposal, and hauling services. The cost to the town is determined by the disposal agreement incorporated into the intermunicipal agreement. The term of this agreement is January 1, 2023 to December 31, 2023.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Oh, this is. We only get billed for whatever they haul.
Oh, I know.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you all. All right, reports. Ron Duels. Superintendent.
Hunker down tonight. Hunker down for tomorrow, okay? Stay off the roads. That's all I got. We'll be busy tomorrow and hopefully it's the last hurrah.
Yeah, I bet.
You just cursed yourself.
Zoning enforcement, Karen.
Yeah, you have my report and it stands as it is. If you have any questions, let me know. I have nothing else to report on.
Thank
So
you.
slow month. Huh?
They had 3 or 4.
it was a slow month as far as permits and stuff like that, but Chris and I spent a lot of time working on the hazard mitigation plan, which I didn't write in there. That's been going on now for a couple months. We have another meeting on that tomorrow morning. We also Chris went and took some training that was available in Saratoga one day, and he and I have spent some time in the office doing online training. So we've been utilizing our flow time. But I think if you were to ask my assistant, he is surprised at how busy that office is answering. You get calls from people buying properties, from realtors, some people in and out of the office asking about properties and what's going on. And we're pretty busy most of the time.
You seem like you're pretty at ease, a little bit more at ease now with the help. Like you're a little bit more,
It's much better.
less hectic.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Karen. Cynthia Sherwood, Town Clerk.
Okay, I've given the supervisor my monthly report in the amount, local shares remitted $36,981.56. I have some correspondence for reading. Okay, I have a letter from Denise Allen. It has come to my attention that there was a meeting in February where you were asking for the community's input on several matters. The first thing I'd like to comment is on Airbnb. I feel we don't have a right to tell people what to do with their property, but there must be guidelines to be followed. If a home is being rented out and there happens to be constant parties or constant loud noises, the neighbor should have the right to call the town, and the town should then contact the owner and ask them to be removed. It's not right for a neighbor, whether year-round or seasonal, to have to put up with nonsense. Secondly, it's been a concern of mine that the zoning on Call Street be changed to commercial. At the beginning of Call Street, you have the sound mound, which has been there for years. But why was the zoning stopped? I believe right after that or after Deals. Call Street is a major thoroughfare and has a huge amount of traffic every day. This is not a seasonal road by any means, as we all know. Therefore, it would have great exposure to a commercial business. I'm not saying that people should sell their homes to commercial business, but that they should be able to operate a small, quiet business out of their home or on their property. Lake Luzerne has no commercial areas other than 9N, and we know that they are looking for an area where they can offer commercial space. Please understand, I'm not saying to allow noisy or odor working factories, but small, quiet businesses. The farm on Call Street is being used commercially. What would that be? That's my farm.
That's your farm?
I think she maybe she needs.
What are you doing up there?
plans.
Oh, up
What you
the
got going on there?
Oh, okay.
What are you
The other
doing up
farm.
there? Run up there.
It's like, wait a minute. Okay. Oh, yeah, he does a wonderful job. Okay, maybe this would keep the young people here, create a few jobs, and possibly have new people move into the area. Having more commercial businesses other than what we have in town would be a great asset for the town. Please take a second look. Next is the tourist motion. I belong to the Hadley Business Association, and Sue Wilder is doing so much to bring tourists to Hadley. I don't see anything going on in Lake Luzerne to promote it. I do think the food trucks are a good idea. Hopefully it will go well for the vendors in the community. The HBA has meetings, emails, and the Maple Festival. The bike rail does a great job advertising and bringing people to Hadley. Granted, the pug parade is a great thing, but I feel it has dwindled down considerably for some reason. Pam does her best for sure. The zip line is also a good pull into the community, but there has to be something more this town can do to promote itself. As a realtor for 30 years, the real estate in this area is far from the other booming towns. We have to promote real estate for this town. Granted, Queensbury and Saratoga Springs have much more going for them than we do here, but this is a beautiful town and people need to know that. I'd be willing to help in this area with all my years of experience. I want to thank you for reading my email. Pardon the length, but please do keep all my responses in mind. I'd be willing to do anything I can for Lake Luzerne. I've lived here 37 years and this is my home.
And who is that?
Denise Allen.
Huh?
Denise Allen.
Just so you know, Cindy, I emailed her a copy of our latest short-term rental proposed regulation.
Okay. Okay, from the Stuart M. Townsend Elementary School. Mr. Gene Merlino, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today. Our Building Safety Committee, which meets monthly, has spent a great deal of time planning for the safety and security of our building, staff, and students. One of the topics of importance is the plan to evacuate the building to a separate location. Due to the fact that our transportation buses are off location and the drivers are not readily available during the day, we are requesting the use of the Lake Luzerne Town Hall as an evacuation reunification location. During an emergency, that would include the need to evacuate. Staff would be directing students through the wooded area behind our elementary school and would arrive at the back of the town hall and parking area. It would be extremely helpful if there was a location to keep the students warm inside in the event that this emergency took place in the winter months of school. Otherwise, students and staff would stay supervised in the rear of the parking lot. If possible, we would request the use of the restrooms. Reunification is an integral part of rejoining students with their families. We would like to discuss a bus route for transportation to pick up students, as well as a route for parents who will be picking up their child from the town hall. In the event of an emergency, we'd be reaching out to you immediately, utilizing the numbers listed at the town hall. I would like to share a list of name and phone numbers in case you'd like to reach out to us for any reason. And this is Burgess Ovett, Superintendent of School, Jonathan Baker, Elementary Principal, Chris Eggleston, School Resource Officer, Stephanie Gordon, School Counselor. We thank you and the board members for considering our request. We greatly appreciate your support and partnership. Jonathan Baker.
And just a note on that, they were here, they looked at the building, and it works out really well because they can keep grades of students in separate areas in the building. And the teachers will be here, will always be supervised until the crisis is over. Should we never, hope we never have one, but I think it's a good idea. And I told them I'd have to bring it in front of the board and make sure I got a second. I would make the motion to do it. And see, if we got a second.
I'll take a second.
I think it's a good idea too. My only concern is whether we can react quick enough.
We don't have to do anything. The trail back here with the snowmobiles.
They have their own keys.
Well, they will be here. We'll be here. Somebody's here during the day while school's on.
It's school, it's Monday through
School's
Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, oh no, well, they'll probably.
What other time you thinking?
I'm trying to think of one.
No,
Think too
it'll be school time and probably we won't see it in the summer or anything.
I wouldn't overthink it too much. So it's school hours. I think it's a no-brainer.
Well, it reminds me of the situation where the power goes out, but that's.
They're all generators down there.
All right, so I made a motion, I got a second.
I got it.
Cindy's got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
What number would that be? 19?
That's gonna be 54.
50? 50.
Okay, the next thing I have is a letter. And Ron Dool can help you with this. For my conversation on Monday with Ron Dool and Cynthia Sherwood, I have expressed the issue I'm having in regards to National Grid in getting electric service to my property at 195 Gailey Hill Road. To my understanding, National Grid has an issue with the way the deed is written for the property owned by Lisa Williams at 204 Gailey Hill Road, which states that she owns to the center line of Gailey Hill Road, which is a legal concern for National Grid. And without a signed easement from Lisa Williams or proof from the town of Lake Luzerne, or proof from the town of Lake Luzerne. Please see the enclosed requirements needed in the attached email correspondence from National Grid. They will not supply power from the existing power pole on the western side of the road shown in the attached map to my property, shown as proposed new course of line, pole, and anchor. The telephone pole ID numbers are also enclosed. The deed for the land I have purchased at 195 Gailey Hill Road states that I own from the eastern edge of the road. So I'm guessing that somewhere in time, the verbiage was changed regarding where the properties begin, or that my deed was correct all along. I have done my due diligence in trying to contact Lisa Williams, even sent a certified letter with the enclosed easement form with a notarized signature request for National Grid, hoping to get this corrected the easiest way possible, but with no response from her. I am asking for help from the town of Lake Luzerne in this matter to produce and provide me with documentation requested from National Grid to prove that Lisa Williams does not in fact own to the center line of the road, which has been verbally confirmed by both Warren County and Lake Luzerne. But at this time, I am told there's no documentation to support this on behalf of Lake Luzerne, Warren County. When Gailey Hill was turned over to the town and the road was proceeded to be maintained by Lake Luzerne, proving that no landowner owns to the center of the roadway. I'm hoping this can be resolved, but need to bring to the attention of the town of Lake Luzerne that this matter can also be a very large threat for our municipality and also Lisa Williams as the landowner of the property in question, due to the fact that the way her deed is written, and maybe other landowners, that anyone that travels south on Gailey Hill Road is trespassing on her land and can pose a serious legal liability for her in the town of Lake Luzerne. Any documentation and resolution for help in this matter would be greatly appreciated.
The situation with this is there's a telephone pole on the edge of the road. I would say it's 3 feet off the edge of the road. 911 won't climb that pole without permission from the landowner. Because the deed says that he owns to the middle of the road. Never heard such thing. So he's trying to contact her to give him permission for 911 to climb their pole to throw a lead over to the other side of the road. I think it's crazy, but if we can maybe just write a letter saying that we take care of the road. I don't know if there's a deed for that road that says we own it. I'm not sure.
But don't we have a regulation that we own?
You have right away on it.
Right away, 19 feet from the center of the road?
Yeah, we have right away.
But I believe there's more than one deed saying that they own to the middle of the road.
It can't be.
We can't own
Well, if that's the case, then I guess we turn that road right over to the landowners.
Does go back to a certain,
You only wish it.
does this kind of go back to a certain discussion we had about a certain other parcels of land that if the town abandoned the road, then it goes back to whoever. This is something that's, yeah,
But,
It's got a familiar-
yeah, kind of familiar whiff coming off of
I
it.
think if we just write a letter saying we maintain it, we plow it, we mow the grass, we cut the trees, that should be enough information for him. I'm hoping.
Mary, how do you feel about that?
Well, both things can be true. The deed can say she owns to the center of the road, but the town can have a right of way to maintain the road. This, to me, is a dispute between two private property owners, and they need to work it out themselves. I, in no way, shape, or form think the town should get involved in this.
Exactly.
And I don't understand how the pole got there if National Grid doesn't have a right of way. That doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
understand why they can't climb their own pole. It's been there for years. But he's trying to get a hold of this landowner and he's not getting any response.
I mean,
But
this,
he was just coming up to us. If we could prove that we maintain the road, that might give him the, 911 okay.
well, so you as the town have a right of way over the road. She could own it though. That is all, that's all
Okay.
true.
Okay.
There are tons of
If that's
deeds
the
that,
case, then there should be a deed on this, right?
not necessarily, no.
No. Well, how can she prove that she owns to the middle road if she doesn't have a deed?
Her deed says that,
Her
correct?
deed
Is that what
says that.
he said?
I actually have a copy of that. You do combine it in my office. Do you want me to go get it?
Isn't it go back to the same situation that Nymo's
I would wanna
looking?
look back through the deeds and see if they were changed.
I don't have a prior one, I don't think. I do have the new one.
I could get the prior ones on the county website, but I would like to see if that deed was changed.
Do you want me to get you a copy? What-
Ron, what road is that?
Here we go.
So,
It's about half a mile down from me.
all right, so would it say everybody on that road has a right of way to the middle of the road?
Yeah, I think so. Timmy Palmer lived down further. It says it too.
It does?
Yeah.
So basically, all Nymo's looking for is an easement,
Which,
am I correct?
which. they
or
should have one if they put the
Nymo-
hole there.
Poles there to start with.
Whoa, 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 whoa. The problem is, it's the same thing that's happened when I was trying to change the poles on my property. Okay? The Nymo, when they put the poles on my street, go back to 1934. Okay?
Well, you're old. Oh, I'm sorry.
What's that, a kickback? I'll get you.
Oh.
Okay, 1934. There is no easements back dating that far up in Luzerne Heights. Okay, where I live.
So the landowner.
So basically what it was the people wanted power, no problem. Nymo put the power in. They tried to get as close to the property line, to put the line, poles in. When we got into a situation with the next door redoing that house. Okay, and Nymo wanted to split their lands. They wanted to put a telephone pole in the middle of my backyard. And I said, you show me an easement that you had back to 1934, and they couldn't find it. The town doesn't have it or anything.
Yeah, so I don't know.
So they're looking for an easement is what they're looking for.
They
And
don't,
they never probably had one to put that pole where it is,
they don't get that from the town, though. They would have to get that
from the property owner. That's correct.
Mary, is it
This
your,
guy's digging a foundation and everything, and all he wants is to get power overhead to his,
Right.
that's it.
is it your opinion that we shouldn't even send a letter just saying that we maintain the road?
My opinion is the town should not be involved in this at all.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Tim Hanlon,
I have nothing to report this time.
Paul, Lewandowski.
I got something for Ron. I've been thinking about it. Ron, can you get us some figures and possibly estimated cost? Okay. On, say, replacement of water lines, say for a mile or 2 miles and things of this sort in different areas. We know down in the village, that's a pretty tough neighborhood down there. But it seems like down in the village, you guys are quite busy down there patching. Okay? Talking with other towns, some other towns are doing, up to miles per year, their water department. Okay? And possibly if you can get us some,
Are you just in general want to know how much it would cost to do a mile?
yeah,
Because if you go down to town, there's 6 inches of concrete underneath that main street. So there would be a whole different ballgame of expense to.
okay, so do a mile someplace else and estimate the cost for a mile down in the village. Okay? We got to start looking at our infrastructure. Our infrastructure, you're the man that's constantly patching and things like that. Okay, and for some reason, keep missing the boat on grants and things of this sort.
Right.
Okay, other towns are putting their own water lines in. Okay,
Yeah.
you know where I'm coming from. You
Yeah.
just got a nice new truck on order. Now we're gonna do some repairs.
Yeah.
We gotta start someplace, Ron, you know it.
Can I make a suggestion, Ron?
Yes.
Ask your assistant if he knows somebody that could give him a ballpark number. I bet he does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll see Artie and Trent because they've done a lot of lines.
Yes, they have.
So I'll go get his ear and I'll get you softball.
I'd appreciate it.
Yep, I will get you some.
You know, we know down in that village, between the ledge, the concrete and everything else, that's a tough neighborhood.
Absolutely.
Okay, you get around Bay Road and coming down, it's starting to get a little bit better. Okay,
Yeah,
up in the heights. Not too bad digging,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're
So
getting
if we can get an idea of the different areas and what the cost would be. We've got to be heading for something. It can't be.
For a minute.
Yep. Ding, ding. Scary. They're back to one order. Yeah.
I got to the top of the mountain. Like it's 30 and then I got down here and it's 37.
And rain,
Yes.
when I left the house, it was snow.
Takes that in.
Take it back on.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
welcome
great.
back, everybody.
But thank you,
Um,
Ron.
You got it.
Paul, I told you, I think I told you last meeting you missed, but I have the DEC and.
I was here.
No, you were out sick. And I
Oh,
still have
yes,
it-
I was.
I still have it in my office, the DEC, who to call about trying to clean up that.
Like
The
the,
waterway into the lake.
right.
And they'll be willing to tell you the do's and the don'ts. All right, I have it in my office. All right, Mr. Niles.
Laundry.
I've got one I want to spring on the board. It's a small one. The New York State Federation of Lakes Association Conference is coming up. It's the first weekend of May. And I would like to ask the board to reimburse 4 people to attend that conference. One of them is myself. The other 3 are Jane Oppenlander, Kurt DeCoste, and Mike Schaefer. The 4 of us have put a presentation together and it's been accepted and we will be presenting that at the conference. The conference cost per person is $90. We did fund it last year. It was $75. It's $90 this year. I was wondering if the board's gonna be okay to reimburse us for that, because we should register for that pretty soon.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah, I'll second, and I think it's a good class to go to.
All in favor?
Uh,
Opposed?
That'll be 55.
Thank you. Short-term regulation is moving along. We should have more on that soon. The Priscilla Core application was in to NCON in February. It went in Friday to the Adirondack Park Agency. Today was the last bit of progress on that, which we mailed out a letter from the town board, and with it is a FAQ, frequently asked question sheet. It's 2 pages of non-technical, easy to read information about that process. So I will keep everybody posted on that. We anticipate trying to have an informal public informational meeting sometime in April. And then after that, the town board will have to figure out where to take it from there. Probably a public hearing or whatever. I did a little analysis 3 or 4 weeks ago on what it's cost us to haul garbage, so you all have that. If you have any questions on that, call me. I gathered the information from Colleen and from Rick. The only thing that might need a little explanation is the stuff that Colin takes care of is the cost to haul that comes out of what they pay us for the material. So I didn't put down when I did my analysis, I didn't put down a cost to haul that. It's sort of already paid for. But that amounts to $32,000 a year. If you make a couple assumptions, if we assume 2023 is going to have the same number of hauls as last year did, at the new rates that we just signed with the county, then it comes up to $32,400. Divide that by 12, just for the sake of putting it in reference, it's $2,700 a month. That's it.
Thank you. All right, I had on here, we're coming up with a date for a public hearing on short term. You already spoke about it. I spoke to Steve Beery last week. And he'd be interested in the court officer's job. And he was asking what it paid. I really couldn't give him an answer, because we had it incorporated with the constable. But he's looking for something like $20 an hour, 1 day a week. So
I don't remember what we had in the budget for. That sounds close.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's somewhere. But
Do you want to interview or
you guys want to interview?
No, we've already interviewed him.
we have?
Yes,
Yeah.
we've already interviewed him. It's fine.
We did.
I believe it. I just don't remember which.
Yeah, he was gonna come back and he never said anything, but he finally got to me. So, and I even approached him that if it works out, maybe he might want to be our constable. So he was thinking about it. But the court clerk, I think it needs to have a court clerk here.
Go ahead.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
And that is to hire Tim Beery as the court officer at
Mhm.
$20.
Stephen Beery.
Steve.
Stephen, should
Yep.
I say?
Cindy, can you do a roll call?
All the same line of work.
Yes, right, okay, Councilman Hanlon,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski.
Yes.
Councilman Niles.
I'm going to abstain just because I don't remember. I would have to go back and
My God.
read his stuff with these guys know him. So I'm going to abstain.
Supervisor Merlino.
Aye.
Carried.
A couple of just quick things here. I did have a meeting with Mo Wright from Hadley, talking about the youth program, and we come up with an agreement. And we'll get the boards together to finalize it, that they'll work with us and we'll work with them, and we'll pay for any of our youth that goes to their thing. He's been out this week. But he's gonna get his board together and finalize it, and we'll all be together.
Hey, Gene, we've been talking and tossing back and forth about possibly getting our own roll off, Truck.
For years, yeah.
okay? And Mo and their department up there has one. It's in fairly rough shape. I wonder if there's a way that we can, between the two towns, share the truck.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, because I tried that with Lake George bought one 3 years ago. And for some reason, their board turned it down, only because of something happens while we're doing it. Who's gonna pay for it? It was a lot of, so we just dropped. So I don't know how, but if they're looking to buy a new one too, I think it'd be a great idea. We have a shared community on it.
According to Dana and I got together, we did 112 hauls last year,
Right,
which was about 2 a week.
How we, okay, just quickly, how we get on this? We were talking about the youth program before. How do we get sidetracked? So let's get back on youth program.
sorry. I thought we were done with this.
So the youth program, what is the, I mean, last time it was discussed here in this room, there was a little bit of a hesitancy on your part to go ahead with this. What changed from then to now? Of being pro,
Myself,
yes,
well, listening to people in the audience and a couple other people, it looks like a lot of people are looking for it. We never said no, but now we have an option to work with Mo, who started it last year. Never invited us, but he started it. And we have money in there to get the program going, left over from 2020 and 21. And I think it's a good idea. We have somebody that's already has 1 year under their belt. If we have people that want to help them out, I think there'll be more than adequate possibility that we can have some of our people helping them out. We'll get more information on how we're gonna do it as soon as I can get together with Mo. I hope that's,
So last year was their first year back doing it.
yes. Yeah. Well, we split up the money that was in there from Stony Creek, Hadley and Lake Luzerne, so we still have our share here. They got their share in check.
So all three of us stopped it at the same time.
Yeah.
They started theirs back up last summer.
Right. Well, when we talked about it in October, when we were doing the budgets, nobody knew really if the COVID was still gonna be around this coming summer.
Yeah.
So that's why we just didn't put it in the budget. Next thing here, I don't know if this will work. I'm hoping it will. I've also been in contact with the diocese of the church, Catholic Church that's got our church here. I didn't get a no, I didn't get a yes, and I didn't get a maybe, but trying to get them to donate that church to the town of Lake Luzerne. Doesn't hurt to try or come up with some kind of a long-term lease. We can use it, we can use it for a youth center and plays and things like that. I think the town needs something like that.
what we, real quick, why would we be acquiring more land?
What's
I
that?
mean, what
Sorry.
advantage to us would it be for that? Or as opposed to trying to bring in some sort of commercial activity into the area?
Well, certain things can't be done on that property anyway, unless variances are changed, but
And what would that be?
zoning on certain things that can go in and out of there. I think the church will. I'm not talking for the zoning enforcement, but it'd have to go up for a referendum, and I don't think the people in town would turn it down. I'd like to see a restaurant in it, truthfully, but I think.
Like stuff that generates money for the town and jobs and money. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice.
That's
The
up.
biggest problem with the church, they have a clause in there, believe it or not. No alcohol, even if they sell it.
Even if they sell it,
Well, bar business isn't doing a banging business lately, so we don't have to worry about that. But heating the place as far as acquiring it for the town, I mean, it's an older building. It was my church growing up. And it's a very wood structure, slate roof. You're talking, you would have to do a major work on it. So, and if that's the town wants to inherit that,
well, that's up to you, gentlemen.
You know.
I'm just coming out with suggestions. We went and asked an owner of this property back to donate to the town, and they did, so you never know. I'll let you know what happens, and then we can make a decision from there.
I think that pursuing the conversation makes sense. It's not a commitment of any sort,
No,
but if we got some favorable reaction, then we can say, well, what would we do with it? I
No
agree,
prob-
we
No
don't want
problem, just trying
to
to move
necessarily
forward.
take on a tough building to maintain. But having the option to do something with it that the town would like and appreciate and generate revenue, that'd be a nice option to have.
Yeah, Just a thought. And that's all I have. We will open it to floor to the public. Anybody have any comments from the public, questions, answers? Please step forward, give us your name.
Going home, get some sleep, gentlemen.
Hey, wake me up when you get up, all right?
Hey, good luck tonight.
You ain't getting up. What's that? The time you go to the bathroom?
Good luck tonight.
Good,
Ryan.
good. All right.
That's okay.
Be careful, Ron.
I had a quick question about the board vacancies and the process and the bylaws. It just seems inconsistent to me that sometimes the board vacancy is filled and then sometimes it isn't. And I just wonder what is the process supposed to be?
Well, we tried it once by having interviews and everything else, and we did pick somebody, and that's the way it went. The second time, I think we all agreed, there's so many people that want the job. To let them fill out the petitions, coming up now, we're all filling them out. Get on the ballot in June, and whoever wins, instead of having 3 or 4 people decide on who's gonna be on the board, let the people from the town decide.
I get that, but it's a really long time before the elections and I mean, Tim came in, this is happening, frequently now. And I guess I just wonder about what is there a minimum number of board members that the town is supposed to have?
3.
3,
Minimum 3.
that's the
Okay.
law, you have to have 3.
So you have,
And Gene is considered a board.
right. So, but you have 4 now, right? You could have a tie. And then it,
Well, that.
that's just something to think
Technically,
about.
Gene does not have the right to vote unless there is a tie. If there's only 3 people at the meeting, Gene makes the tie break.
Okay, but he votes every time.
Pardon?
But he votes every time. From what I can
We've
tell.
always had 4 people.
Okay,
When there's only, say, myself and Tim here, Mr. Niles is out. He votes yes, I vote no, he makes the decision.
okay. Is that what the bylaws
Basically.
state?
But
That's basically how
I'll
it-
just make
yes.
one statement. This board is working really well right now for the last 6 months. And you saw tonight, we just passed 20 resolutions. Everybody knew about them. All the answers were made
Yeah.
before we came.
Whatever opinion is one thing, whether it's working well or not. I'm just concerned with what is the law? What is the bylaw
I've been in
say?
contact
That's all.
also with the supervisor up in the town of Edinburgh. They're going through the same thing that we are in
Right.
the midst of doing, okay? And their board also said, due to the fact that we're so close to election, okay? Let the townspeople pick the person they want in that.
I'm not saying I disagree with that. I'm just saying, what is the rule? Because
We
it's
have the
happened
option.
3 times now in the last couple of years. It's happening a lot.
Well, we have the option that, let's just say something happens, so we need a board member to be put in.
Yeah,
It'll take 1 month and we can put a board member in.
okay.
To fill the void. We don't need that right now. We have a good team here that's working
Okay.
together.
Okay.
And we're not looking for any more.
No, I'm just
the
saying
people
you
can-
had 6 applications.
Yep.
Right? You went out and got applications,
Yep.
5 applications.
Right.
But you changed your mind, is what you're saying,
Right.
once you saw.
Well, it was just easy then. You don't know who you're gonna pick. Everybody has a
Well,
nice
be truthful
resume.
there, Gene.
Huh?
Plain and simple, we didn't want to get in the same situation that we've been accused of. The good old boys put somebody in there,
Right.
okay? And that was a decision made to let the townspeople put that
Okay.
person in there. And that was the reason for it.
Okay,
Well, wait. Let her
Let her
finish.
finish.
no, I'm just saying that if that was the reason, then I think that's the truthful response then. That's all,
Thank you.
but
to go out and get applications and then say no. That's why I've
I
just.
think we just
I've
had like
just-
such depth of people were interested. We're like,
Yeah.
whoa, we need to reevaluate this.
Okay,
There's a
okay.
lot of interest. I think
just
let
wanted to
people in town
know-
figure this out because you know,
As soon as we ask these people,
yeah.
But I'm just saying that I'm sure that the bylaws say this is
that's
how it has to be done.
Right.
That's all regardless of whether you think it's
Right.
working well or whether
Yeah.
we think it's working well or not. The bylaws say this is how it should be done when this happens, correct? That's all.
I think state law says that the board has the option to appoint somebody.
Okay.
New York City.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're not waiting 30 days and nothing's getting done because 30 days is a long time sometimes. Okay. I guess that was it.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Fred, you want
Thanks.
come up?
Tricia Goldberg had her hand up a while ago.
To answer your question.
Fred, sit here.
April,
Fred.
September, never
Fred.
showed up.
Fred,
So that, we say $7,000, we paid $7,000 for a board member, never showed up. By state law, we still had to pay.
That's why I'm asking what is the law.
all right, thank you. Good. Who has a hand up?
Patricia Goldberg.
Tricia, go ahead. We hear you.
I'm not telling you to, not to pursue the issue of the church. I just want to point out that the folk school, which of course has a lot less money than the town, we're a nonprofit. We looked at the church and one of the major concerns was heating it. We just can't afford to heat it. Now, your budget is different, but it's just something for you to think about.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else out there? Chris, anybody else? All right, nobody else has a question?
Gene, I have a question. I've had my hand up.
Oh, hold on.
Stan Goldberg.
Go on, Stanley.
Control.
All right, go ahead.
In response to that, I forgot her name, who just asked the question about the missing member of the board. When there's a 2-2 tie, it fails.
That's correct.
Any motion that's tied with 4 members, it fails, just to quantify that. Okay?
All right.
Thank you,
We said
Stanley.
that. We know. All right, thank you, Stan.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead, your turn.
Hi, Sonia Harris. Thank you, Mr. Merlino, for speaking to Mo. I just have a couple questions on that. Jean Cieslik and I have been going back and forth for a couple weeks. Jean Cieslik, she's the one that
Oh, yeah,
runs
she's
the
running that,
Hadley. Yep.
yes.
Youth Commission. Just a couple questions if you're talking to Mo. Is there any possibility this could go back to Lake Luzerne School? So if in case it rains, the kids have somewhere to go. It used to be held in the Lake
Well,
Luzerne
they're
School.
doing it in the school. I already talked to the
They're doing most
superintendent.
of it at Hadley Park.
Well, he told me they were coming to the school. I
Okay.
talked to superintendent. Well,
Yeah.
it's fine. If you'd like to work with us on it, maybe
Mhm.
in a negotiation with
Okay,
Hadley.
yeah, these are just some questions. Jean was not able to be here
Yeah.
today. She is sick, so we've been going back and forth,
Yeah.
Messaging.
No,
that would be
Mr.
a good
Burge, the
idea.
superintendent said it'd be no problem, even if we
Okay.
did it by ourselves to go to the school.
Okay,
He
perfect,
said that
because,
Hadley was using the school. I don't know, but
Okay.
that's what he told me, and I'm going by
Okay.
that.
so last year there was about 50 kids from Lake Luzerne that did use the program. So that would be wonderful if they don't have to pay this year. So I really
Well,
appreciate your
it'll
time
come
with
out of-
that.
It'll come out of our budget, the school budget. We will have to pay, I think it was $3.50 a student. I hadn't gotten all the because
Okay.
Mo's had an operation and but
Okay.
I will talk about, I'll call you and get you in
Okay.
here.
So
and
Jean,
You can help me
Cecilic-
negotiate it.
okay, so she would be the main person running Youth Commission for Hadley, Lake Luzerne.
Right,
And then she would look for help, branch
Right.
out to other subcommittees.
yep. That's
Okay,
the way I hope it
perfect.
goes,
So
like
do
I
I.
say, things don't happen right away, but
Right.
we're gonna get get down to it before April comes.
right.
You know.
I thank you for taking the time and talking to Mo on that, and we'll keep
Yeah.
working forward.
No, Mo was no problem. He was very cooperative with it, and
Okay.
I'm happy it was.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you, Sonia.
All right, anything else?
We
Motion
need- We
adjourned?
need to have Annie
What?
come up and sign the oath book as well.
Oh, I'm sorry, Andy, you gotta,
Before we. go
yeah,
on the
you don't have
adjournment.
to we can adjourn the board meeting.
Oh,
right?
You can,
Yeah.
sure.
All right, and
Make a
nobody else
motion.
present?
Right now doing the board meeting.
You got a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you all for.
Thanks, Fred.
Hey,
Huh?
Gene, how much snow do we get?
We didn't get any
Damn.
yet, but it's coming.
Okay, what, 6 or 18?
You know.
They're talking 18 at least,
No kidding.
so. Have a
Yeah,
nice.
it's snowing
I'll be
down
calling
here
you
too.
anyway. I'll talk to you next week.
Okay, it's snowing down